So isn't that
God,
beautiful?
that is
I know.
so pretty.
The architecture is just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at photos and videos from my trip to Ecuador, where I stayed in the city of Cuenca, which is a beautiful historic city. It's considered the safest, most beautiful city in Ecuador. It's on the western coast of the country, really, you know, in relation to other things in South America, very close to the coast.
Okay.
And so it's very well situated to be a takeoff place to go to the Galapagos, for instance.
Sure.
At this point, you still have to travel to another airport to get to the Galapagos, but you can. It's still only a few hours trip.
Yeah.
So anyway, today we're going to talk about multiple places and people that we met. And I'm going to share with Olivia and with you videos and photographs from our trip.
Yeah.
So the first day that we were there, we visited the Panama Hat Museum. And so a lot of people think the Panama hat, naturally think that the Panama hat comes from Panama.
Yeah.
But it actually originated in Cuenca in Ecuador. So it was worn by agricultural workers and workers of all kinds, but a lot of agricultural workers. It is a hand-woven hat. So the Panama hat is woven from toquilla, which grows in Ecuador.
Sure.
And it's still, the hats are still hand woven.
To this day.
Yes. They are shaped by machines and steamed into place. Like the hats are woven by people who do it as a cottage industry.
Sure.
And then they are transported to a factory where they are sized and molded on machines. Which, you could do that by hand too.
Of course.
But it's done to make it, well, and to make them all the,
exact same size.
Yes, standardized. So they actually, the way that they got their name Panama hat is that the workers, people who worked on the Panama Canal were called, they were wearing these hats.
Yeah.
And the people who were running the building of the Panama Canal, the American president at the time, and bankers, they adopted wearing these hats because they were such perfect sunscreens.
Sure, of course.
And so a Panama hat isn't a particular style of hat. It's the kind of material that it's made out of. So you can get little derbies, you can get fedoras, you can get wide-brimmed sombrero style hats or bucket hats. Even the cone, they sell the cone shaped.
Sure, but it's just with that specific material.
Right. And it's made that specific way. They're very, very lightweight. They will shade your neck and your face from the sun.
Yeah, which you need down there because you're closer to the equator.
Right.
Yeah.
The sun is very direct in Ecuador. So the American president and bankers and people visiting, the canal, business people started calling them, I want the hat from Panama.
Right.
And the hats began to be exported that way. And they were exported through Panama, through the Panama.
Of course, yeah.
So that's how they got their name, Panama hat.
But they're really from Ecuador.
Yeah. And there are more details to that story. I'm not an Ecuadorian scholar or an Ecuadorian hat scholar.
Right. But this is what you heard.
The basic framework of the story goes like that. So when you go to the museum, it's a very unassuming doorway right off the street.
Yeah.
And you go in through an inner courtyard and, pay your admission to get in. And the first thing you go through is the hat shop that's there.
Oh, cool.
So you can go in and just buy hats there at the museum. And they have all different styles and all different sizes, including... they have size that fits me perfectly.
Oh, great!
I have the tiniest head ever.
We both have a small head, honestly.
I can never get hats that fit, and especially hats that are made to a form.
Sure.
I don't own any because, and I didn't buy one because they didn't have a style that I wanted. But maybe next time, if I go again, that might be something I would bring home. So, would you like to take a tour of the Panama Hat Factory?
Yes, let's see.
Okay, let's take it away. So one thing I should back up and say is that, reiterate, Cuenca is a beautiful city. It's very historic. And we were really close to the historic downtown, and you can walk around and you just feel like you're in any European city.
Sure.
The architecture is really, really beautiful. The details on the buildings range from very simple, kind of almost like our Southwest style.
Sure.
So very simple, like indigenous shapes in the building, to very ornate buildings with Spanish elements, fancy wrought iron, and courtyards with beautiful glass domes and things like that.
Yeah.
So the first evening we were there, we went to dinner with Michelle and JD.
Of course.
Into the main square in downtown, and walked around that main square area, had dinner in a restaurant there that was delicious. The food there was really good. Ecuadorian cuisine kind of specializes in, there's a lot of great seafood.
Sure.
Yeah. The basic sort of, they don't eat a lot of green vegetables. That kept coming home to me because we eat so many at home.
No, yeah, I eat a lot of
vegetables. But literally, you could go for many meals without seeing a green vegetable.
What kind of veggies do you have?
And they might eat not many. I mean, onions, and a few peppers and things. But
I like those.
But they might either meet with 4 different starches in the same meal. Wow. So they might have plantains.
Yep.
Delicious. The hominy corn, which it's corn, but it's not like corn on the cob. It's hominy corn, which is starchier.
Okay.
But dressed deliciously with delicious dressing. They might have rice at the same time, and or potatoes. Or yucca.
Oh, yucca.
So yucca is like a starchy plant.
Is it similar to a potato, or?
I think it's called cassava or
cassava. Yeah, cassava or cassava, and they make tapioca from it.
Oh, okay.
So that's where tapioca starch comes from. And they have many different ways of preparing yucca, and so quite a few of their foods are naturally gluten-free, which is kind of fun.
No, that's great for you. Yeah, I mean, it makes it way easier.
Yeah, and there's a lot of corn in their So the meat in Ecuador is outstanding. I mean, better than anything you could ever get here. The quality of the meat itself is so good.
Yeah.
It's got such great flavor, and they know how to cook it so well.
Yeah, amazing.
So there are all these wonderful places to get like barbecued meats and kebabs, and and they make all kinds of interesting dishes where the starch, either yucca or plantain, it's like rolled around an inside of meat or fish.
Yeah.
So that it's like a crust, but it's not crunchy. It's
just like
a pancake on the outside.
Yeah.
Like a beef Wellington idea.
Yeah. That's a great way to describe it, actually.
Yeah. And lots of fish. And of course, guinea pig, which we ate, which was so good. So we ate dinner that night, and then Michelle and JD introduced us to one of their favorite evening time things to do, which is visit rooftops.
Oh, okay.
So all kinds of buildings in Cuenca have access to the rooftop.
That's so cool.
Sometimes you have to go through a restaurant or a store. But
you can just go.
But the rooftop is famous, so you could just walk in and go through the restaurant to the rooftop, and they let you. You don't have to pay or anything like that.
No, that's actually so cool.
Yeah. So we did that. We had coffee the first night on the rooftop that was right across from the cathedral. And that was really fun. And throughout our trip, we visited many
more rooftops.
But wait, remember they gave us blankets?
So even when it's chilly, which it can be windy on the rooftops. They have, the coffee shop has blankets to hand out and those heat lamps to turn on. And it was really
fun.
Yeah, people are very accommodating there. Ecuador is a very inexpensive place to travel.
Yeah.
So if you're taking part in the activities of the town and eating the local foods, you're going to spend like about 25% what you would spend here at home, if not less.
Wow.
So you can,
and it's going to be amazing quality, like you said.
right. I mean, you can pay more for a meal and it would be like a 5-star chef meal. Like the 5-star chef meal that we had for 4 people was, like 50. Yeah, it was like $50 a person.
Oh, that's reasonable.
And it was, I know, it was like a 5-course meal that.
Yeah, it was probably amazing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really delicious.
Funny story about that though. We actually took her to a hole on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that was one of her favorite meals.
It was. It was that place.
What did you guys have?
I had steak kebabs basically.
Delish.
And papas fritas. But it was, so the meal was $8 for this kebab. It probably had half a pound of meat on it. And it came with beans and rice, salad, yuca, and something else. Like, it was a big,
heck yeah.
Yeah, the meal was on 3 plates like this size. And it was $8.
Yeah.
And my papas fritas were an extra $1.50.
Oh, man.
And they were really good.
Yeah. Is that a French fry or what?
Yeah, Papa's
She has
fritas.
French fries in every single restaurant that
Duh. Yeah.
French fries are my thing.
Yeah.
You might as well know.
Yeah, if you know-
I try them everywhere we go, so it's kind of a joke between all of us.
Okay, but we like it too. So it's,
So even if we're in an Italian restaurant and I'm eating pasta, I order a side of
French fries.
French fries because you got to taste them.
No, yeah,
you're there.
Every French fry is different. This could be a whole podcast episode in itself.
We might have to do it.
I know.
On one of our road trips.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we'll go and taste this.
But anyway, back to Cuenca.
Yeah, sorry.
So, evening rooftop visits are a free thing to do that are spectacular, and we have so many, and not just at night, but during the day as well. We have so many rooftop and hilltop views to share, and Michelle will put together a little slideshow of those to share with you.
That's so fun.
So then, I think the next sort of cultural thing we did was we went to the Museum of the Aboriginal Culture, which is also right in downtown, also just, right on the street. You walk in and it's a beautiful courtyard lobby area. This is one museum that you do have to pay to get into, but it's a whopping $4 entry fee.
Right. Oh.
And since I'm a senior, I think it was $2 for me.
Oh my God.
So every place we went, I was eligible for the senior discount, which is really my first time using it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
they would just look at my hair and be like, you
want the senior discount?
Mayor. So I would get the senior pass. So anyway, the Museum of the Aboriginal Culture was amazing.
Really cool.
This is a museum that was started probably 50 years ago. From the collection of a husband and wife who lived in Cuenca. They began collecting Aboriginal artifacts when they were worried that they wouldn't be saved.
Oh.
So when when the city started being developed more and there were more building sites happening all around, sometimes builders would run into an archaeological find. But at that time, I'm assuming it wasn't regulated as much and worried that these things would disappear, they began collecting them for pennies,
For sure. Yeah, no, it's...
And then their daughter married someone who was interested in this collection and decided that she and her husband decided to start the museum. And so her husband created all the research behind all the pieces and cataloged all of it and, traced its provenance and made sure that it had, documentation to back up. And his wife designed all the displays and all the plaques and the colors that the museum would be and designed the space that they would exist in. And their daughter, Carmen, now runs the museum.
Oh, okay.
So she's the director now.
Yep.
She's a fascinating person because she does know all about every object in the museum.
Yeah.
And they have displays of all kinds of items that are used for tools, for domestic life, bowls and plates and utensils.
Very cool.
They have needlework objects, needlework tools. They have burial pots and just all kinds of things.
And when did you say, like, what year around were those people?
So the Aboriginal people are the original people of Ecuador,
Yes.
and their existence goes back to, you know, the first man, basically.
Sure. Okay. So
A lot of people think that Ecuadorian culture begins with the Incas, but that's not true. The Incas actually invaded Ecuador and the coastal areas and overcame the Aboriginal people and their culture, absorbing it into their own culture.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And refining it and changing it to a certain amount. And this museum really goes back to before the Incans. And so it's a really great place to start your visit in Cuenca if you're interested in history and culture.
No, absolutely. That's
and
very,
archaeology.
very interesting. And I didn't know that
Right.
they were even there.
And there is the Putapunga Museum down the road, which is also very close by. You could do both of them in the same day.
Sure. And
That is the Museum of Incan culture.
Oh, okay. So
And the Incan ruins there are Incan ruins right on the grounds, and also close by is another section of Incan ruins. So, but getting back to the Aboriginal Museum, Carmen she was so thrilled we were there. She is both a scholar of Aboriginal culture and objects, but also her particular interest in culture is in the handcraft and artisan products that Ecuador produces. And she has really devoted her life to bringing those artisan pursuits in the public eye, researching about them and gathering information about them to share with other people, and creating museums in many places, not just Cuenca, but she has several other satellite museums to feature different types of handcraft. And then she also works directly with people in remote areas of Ecuador who have particular specific crafts to bring those goods into the museum to sell from her shop.
Oh, that's very nice.
And so we sat down with Carmen and had a really nice interview about the history of the museum and what her purpose is there, and also a tour through the shop of the different handcrafts that she collects and to sell there. Yes. And we even brought back some gifts for Olivia's wearing a couple of gifts that we got in Carmen's shop. So her pendant, which is serpentine, which is mined right there, right nearby. And your ring is a shell. Yes. So we have the full length interview and the tour of the shop that we're gonna put on YouTube in a separate video. But right now we're just gonna show you a little clip to introduce you to Carmen and her beautiful, beautiful museum and shop.
And you can watch the full video at the link in the description. So.
Okay, Carmen, hello. Thank you for being on cable TV with us. Here we are in your beautiful museum. Can you tell us about the building?
Yeah, thank you very much also for your visit. We are very happy and glad you visit our museum and to come back and appreciate all of this work from 3 generations. And we are like 50 years that this old museum has been organized.
All right. What else did you do?
There was so much that we did. Of course, we crammed a lot into the first few days.
Yeah.
Because just as an aside, at the end of our trip, our time in Ecuador was going to be Carnival.
Oh, yeah.
So the last basically 5 days that we were there, lots of things were closed down for Carnival, which we have plenty of footage of Carnival.
Yeah.
And so we did a lot of things around the city and outside the city in the first few days. So our first weekend day was Saturday, and Michelle and JD and JD's mom wanted to take us to the Macana weaving studios, which is only about 20 minutes outside town, maybe 30, by car. Up, you're starting to get up into the mountains.
Sure.
So Cuenca is at a pretty high elevation of about 11,000 feet. But immediately outside town, you start getting into some more mountains and into the national parks area where you can drive up to, you know, as much as like 15,000 feet.
Yeah,
So,
that's...
so we drove out of town. It was a very rainy day. So it was good that we planned to do things mostly indoors. So it was about a half-hour drive to Macana. Macana is a weaving studio where they specialize in dyeing and weaving ikat fabrics. If you're not familiar with the term ikat, it's spelled I-K-A-T.
Oh, okay.
Google it. And Japan is famously known for ikat fabrics, but they do produce them in South America as well. And in Cuenca, they have one of the foremost studios for that. So at the studio, they make their own dyes and they dye their own yarn. They make their dyes from a variety of natural substances, from minerals to plants to insects. Yep. And we went through a little tour of that. You can pay like $1 to take a tour of the museum, and it's worth doing. They have a couple of guys who speak English, and a couple who don't, but they'll always find someone for you who can help you.
That's what Michelle was telling me, that most of the time whenever you guys were there, there's
most of the museums and the places of interest do have people on staff who speak some English.
Okay, and that's
enough to get you through it.
Yeah, and that's good to know for other people.
It's also really good if you're traveling with someone who speaks Spanish, or better yet,
totally. You should learn
if you get off your and learn Spanish yourself.
Yeah.
I used to know more Spanish, and I found out on this trip I remember almost nothing.
Oh my gosh.
But I used to live in a Spanish neighborhood, and I studied Spanish in high school, and I could at least get by, but I was at a loss in a lot of ways. So I definitely need to brush up.
No, for sure, but that's okay.
Anyway, we were met by a guide, and she took us through the kind of mechanics of how the yarns are dyed. The ikat yarns can be wool, cotton, silk. They can be any fiber.
Okay.
But it's how they are, and they can be dyed with anything that will dye well on those fibers, but it's how the skeins are prepped for dyeing that makes all the difference.
Okay.
So the skeins themselves are tied in different configurations. It's a little bit like tie dyeing, but it's on a hank. So the hank is separated in some spots and tied together, and opened up in other spots and tied together in different ways, to make so that when the fabric is woven, these spaced out areas of dye come together to form shapes on the surface of the fabric, like hummingbirds, and something as complicated as hummingbirds, flowers, or just abstract zigzag shapes or squares or interlocking lozenges. It varies widely. And we have plenty of photographs in our slideshow to show you all the different effects that you can get. You can, of course, do stripes and little dots of color.
Sure, but...
Right. So then we saw the looms, and the demonstration of that. And at the end, they show you, when they cut the pieces off the looms, they show you how they finish the ends.
Oh, okay.
So the ends appear to be like woven or crocheted, and some of them are very complicated deep hems with pictorial elements that look like they're woven into the fabric, but it's actually macrame.
Oh.
So someone actually sits there and knots the strands together, in either knotted in bunches, which is faster and more like robust looking, or strand by strand, knotting them together so that it looks like tiny crochet. Okay. It's super interesting. Those deep hems with the pictorial elements might take one person 30 days to do both ends of a wrap.
For sure.
So we're going to take you through a few stages of the Macana studio next.
Oiga, ahorita sí. Gracias a Dios, sí.
It's already coming out.
With little water, you can see the color. This is the Carmen color. See?
Beautiful. The weight.
With little line, see, we get orange or more lighter colors.
Yeah, the acid brightens it up.
And if you add a little baking soda, we get pink, purple, violet,
Oh, how
different
pretty.
tones. See, just with this insert, we cannot say 20 or 30 colors, all depend on
Right.
line, baking soda or what. Yes, see. And for example, this Macana was dying. You can see all the part white was covered with agave plant. All the put the threads in order will take 1 day to start to weaving. See? And you can see here we have a cross for the thread, and I show you the fill process. This part is the more important because we use this thread to pass like this. One by one, and we make a pressure to compact all the threads. See? But we are collocate the threads in order to start weaving. See? And now, when we finish with weaving, we leave the fringe. This is like a diamond. This, see? And to make these designs, to take 1 hour to make the both sides. There is more complicated like a beer, flower, hummingbird. This design will take 15 days or 2 months to make just this part. See? And until the people get married, we make the Macana.
So the next thing we did, which was a huge surprise. Had you ever been there, Michelle?
Actually, no.
So Michelle had never been there.
I've always driven by there, but I've never been able to go in.
Oh, okay.
So Michelle and JD and Yoli, his
JD's
mom.
been there, yeah.
Oh, okay. He's been there. All right.
So they wanted to go to the orchid farm.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Michelle had never been there, and obviously we had never been there.
Sure.
So it was spectacular.
I saw some
and
pictures.
it just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
So right off the road is a small parking area, and you park there and go in, and there's like a flower shop where you can pick out plants, orchid plants, or they had other bromeliads as well.
Oh, what type of plant? That's the
Like
type of
air
plant?
plants.
Oh.
Bromeliads are plants that basically survive on humidity.
Oh, okay.
Like orchids. And some of them only have leaves and no flowers. And, you know, they're the kind that you can sit like on a windowsill and it'll just sit there and
do
go.
its thing.
Or, you know, here we call them air plants.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And the roots need air to grow. So they had a very large selection of plants that you could buy to have shipped home if you weren't from there.
Yeah.
Or take with you. And every Ecuadorian home has a beautiful, at least one absolutely stunning orchid plant. Like JD's aunt, that orchid next to the fireplace, I just couldn't take my eyes off it. It was so beautiful. So then we signed up and went on a tour.
Yeah.
So the tour took us through the laboratory where at this is a world famous orchid farm, but definitely a national size orchid farm. And they breed all different, thousands of different breeds of Ecuadorian native plants, as well as thousands of hybrids of their own.
All right.
So they have all different kinds of orchids there. And they take you through a greenhouse garden. They take you to some outdoor gardens.
Beautiful.
They have a beautiful vegetable patch right on the premises.
What kind of vegetables were they growing?
They seem to be growing a lot of greens. I know vegetables.
I know now. Yeah.
Vegetables
Yeah.
we never saw on our plate.
That's why I was wondering.
A lot of greens. I think they had eggplant there.
Okay.
They had tomatoes and green beans and zucchini. Yeah.
God, I
we
love
did eat zucchini.
Oh, okay. All right.
But really a wide variety of vegetables, but you would have to like grow your own or go directly to the market. It's just that they don't serve them in restaurants.
No,
it's not a thing.
No, yeah.
The preparation is different because they use them for soups.
Oh.
So they're like stewed in with like the protein.
Yeah,
rather than
yeah.
Here where it's like more
Separate.
visible.
Yeah, and we
Okay.
didn't eat a lot of stew like that. So at home.
But it was probably, it was pretty warm. So it was,
Well, I think those are like homey foods.
Yes.
Just like here. Like you don't go to a restaurant to have stew.
no, definitely. Yeah.
You eat like a steak or, a roasted meat or
Yeah.
a vegetarian casserole or something.
Right. No, that's,
So we could not stop gawking at all the orchids. There were so many. We have really great video and photographs. They had all kinds of dogs there.
Oh, really?
They had this one little dog kept following us from start to finish.
I love that.
He was like a cross between Cardigan and a Basset Hound. He had these little short,
God.
chunky legs, and
Did he have big ears?
yes, he had big ears.
Oh.
He was like some kind of chow chow.
Yeah.
mix. And a kind of not a grumpy face, but like a sober face.
Oh.
And he followed us all over. We went to the laboratory where they breed like the little baby orchids.
Okay.
Orchids propagate on themselves, so they put out like baby orchids on their stem, and then those have to be like cultivated and then cut off and put in a
To
growing medium of their own.
Okay.
And the growing lab has orchids that are like brand new, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. So there's a whole laboratory of different age orchids, as well as their greenhouse has examples of like everything they grow. That was really amazing.
So cool.
Yeah, there's a suspended bridge that you have to cross to get from over to the really big greenhouses where they're cultivating plants for the ages. But anyway, you'll see all that because we're going to take you on a little tour of our own right now.
Heck yeah.
So they're known for doing hybrids here in
So after that, we were ravenously hungry. So
Of
we
course.
went for lunch, and we had a delicious lunch in a dining room that looked out over the mountains. It was so beautiful, and it was starting to clear up a bit. It was still kind of misty and drippy, and
Yeah.
it was just really pretty there. We went after that. We decided to stop on the way home at a town called Chordeleg.
Okay.
The town specializes in filigree silver jewelry.
Yes,
You would
okay.
have loved it. So the whole town square is lined with jewelry shops, which is, I can tell you, one of Michelle's favorite
Oh, of course.
kind of shopping to do.
Yeah.
So we, and I was looking for a gift for someone, so it was a good chance to
Get something
to
for
look
them.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went in and out of a bunch of jewelry shops, but before we did that, when we got out of the car, we were very close to we were on the edge of the square. And first of all, it was market day. So there were a whole bunch of booths set up around the square selling handcrafts. And just when we pulled up, there was a wedding coming out of the church.
my
So this
God.
beautiful church, which inside was just so pretty, like all kinds of beautiful bright colors in the plaster and the decorations, and the altar was all lit up with lights and flowers. It was so pretty.
That sounds beautiful.
And the bride and groom were just coming out when we got there.
Aw.
She had on a very simple dress. It was a wide skirt, and a very plain veil,
Do they wear white?
or tulle veil.
Yeah.
But it was completely outlined with hand done embroidery and beading.
So awesome. Was it white beads or colorful beads?
Clear, crystal.
Oh, okay.
And some white accents. So beautiful. We got pictures of all of that. And some of the guests were dressed in their traditional kind of dress up clothes, which in this case around Cuenca is a full skirt with that same but more colorful beaded embroidery on the edge. The amount of embroidery and the complexity of it kind of indicates the specialness of the occasion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And a little bit about your status, your social status.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But you know, if it's handed down from one generation to the other, that can change too.
For sure.
So,
But
and so many women in the square who were attending the wedding, who were guests of the wedding, had on their full skirts with their embroidery. They had on their Macana wraps with their ICOT design wrap. Their Panama hat, which is part of the outfit. So if you kind of think of like the quintessential Andean woman's outfit, this was it.
Yeah.
Some of them had a lacy little shell that went with their skirt, but because it was a chilly day, they would have like a cardigan over that underneath the wrap.
Yeah.
There was a woman in the square weaving a Panama hat.
Okay.
So
you got to see that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
her
cool.
little, in addition to selling things at her booth in the square, she does the hat making as, you know, at the same time.
Yeah.
At the same time. At the same time I'm running my business, I'm also weaving hats. So again, we have some video from around the square and a series of photographs from all around both of the crafts market, the wedding, and the jewelry stores. So take it away, enjoy the rest of our Saturday. And after that, we were pooped and went home.
Yeah.
¿Cómo se llama? María. Oh, gracias, María. Gracias, María.
So by now you're wondering, like, did they do anything but shop? But we definitely did.
Yeah.
So Cuenca is a very walkable city. There's a river. There are four. There are 4 rivers that run through Cuenca.
Wow.
We were staying close to the probably the biggest one, and it runs all the way across. So you can, right outside our door, like a block away, you could get on the river path and walk. So every morning I would go out for a very long walk and look around and look at buildings and get my exercise and
That sounds so
running,
nice.
you know, stuff like that. And kind of see where, and it helped me acclimate where I'm at. So that way if Michelle would talk about a certain neighborhood or, you know, we were looking for some place to go, I started to get an idea very quickly about what direction was what and where to go for what. So it's very easy to get your exercise in Cuenca and to walk to really interesting places just within a few blocks if you're staying kind of close to downtown.
Yeah.
And taxis are really cheap too. It's easy to get around. But on our first Sunday there, we took a ride to Cajas National Park, which probably was about 45 minutes out of town to get to the High Peaks area.
Yeah.
And on the way, you pass through the different altitudes as you go.
Oh.
You do pass right out of the tree line and into the high desert kind of line. So we ended up at about 14,000 feet.
Yeah, that's...
To do some hiking. We got there kind of late. The park was closing. The park at that time of year closes around 4:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, that's
5
pretty
o'clock.
early, yeah.
So we got there a little late to go on a long hike, but we did go on a hike. You can hike all kinds of length paths. You can go to waterfalls. They have lakes, beautiful still lakes and waterfalls and brooks that run through. It's somewhat rocky. It's, I would say, medium challenging, David and I are in our 60s. We were easily able, and we're fit, so we were easily able to keep up with all the younger people we were with.
Sure.
Who are all like in their 20s and 30s. So, but someone who has mobility problems might struggle.
Okay.
Also, the altitude can
Definitely
can
affect
get
you.
to, it can get to your head. It really didn't affect me. From the beginning, I really didn't feel the effects of being at a different altitude, except like running up a lot of stairs.
Okay, yeah.
So to get from our apartment to the downtown area, you have to go up all these stair flights.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I can't remember how many like
A lot. Doesn't
technical flights there are, but
it's okay. Just a lot.
and so it was probably a total of like 2 blocks of uphill stairs.
Wow.
Just to get from one street to another.
So you feel a little bit
A little
then.
winded after that. Yeah.
But
I'm so out of shape right now. But the hiking was different. I didn't feel that way in the hiking.
That's good.
Because it's not as vertical.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and you can go on just easy walking paths there as well. We really enjoyed that. The scenery, the terrain is just stunning. Just stunning. The clouds and the views and everything about it. We took some really nice pictures of each other up there.
Oh, okay.
And you can even stay up there. So there are hotels and guest houses nestled in the hills. It kind of allows you to be in an area where if you go out early in the morning when it's quiet, you'll see alpacas roaming around. Alpacas are part of the national park system. These are your normal hybrid alpacas. The wild vicunias aren't in this area. So currently in that area, the alpacas and burros, you will often see them in areas where they wouldn't normally be roaming.
Sure, but
Sometimes even in populated areas just outside the park. And the reason for that is they had some wildfires there a few years ago that decimated their
natural
situation
habitat,
and destroy their habitat.
Got it.
So in order to find food and because they were frightened, they descended down a bit from the mountains and began to kind of infiltrate communities close by. And while no one is making an effort to domesticate them, because that would be bad, the communities around the park have a kind of unspoken agreement to look out for the animals and take care of them and let them feed on their property and basically gently kind of herd them back toward their areas as they experience regrowth.
Yeah.
Right. As the areas recover.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's pretty, I mean, it's terrible, the wildfires, but it's nice that like kind of everybody came together and
Yeah.
was like,
yeah, this is something we can do.
yeah.
So no big deal. That's just the way people do there. So so we're going to take you to the national park now so you can see that. It's so beautiful. I mean, if there was one thing I would want to just drop back in there to do, it would be to do some more hiking there or biking.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful and we did not get enough time up there. So hopefully another time.
Yeah.
So during that coming week, we explored more in the city. We went to the cathedral.
Okay.
Cuenca is very unique in that at one time they had 2 cathedrals, which never happens in the same diocese. Like typically in the Catholic Church, there's 1 cathedral per diocese.
Yeah.
But because Cuenca had a cathedral established, and they decided to build another one, a new one, to take its place. For quite some time, they had 2 cathedrals because it takes about 100 years to build a cathedral.
Oh my God, wait, what? 100 years?
So parts of the new one would be open and parts of the old one would have to be closed. And So it has a really interesting history for that reason. And we took a tour. We took the official tour because it's sort of there supposedly are these secret crypts underneath the church that you have. If you take the tour, you have access to the crypts. So we really wanted to see that and find out more about it. So we had an absolutely wonderful guide. He was so knowledgeable, but also so cute. And he was so handsome.
Oh my gosh.
And he was so patient. I mean, he literally, like, we toured with him for like 2.5 or 3 hours.
Oh,
like, we
wow.
spent so much time.
1 hour.
Oh my
It was supposed to be a
gosh.
1 hour
Judy
tour.
kept on talking with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because Judy's just.
No, yeah.
You know, they do a lot of tours for tourists, but
Yeah, not for-
it's not as common to do tours with people who actually are born and bred in Cuenca. So,
Totally. Yeah, no,
so-
that was probably cool for him. Yeah.
So they had a lot in common but it was also really beautiful. I mean, I was raised Catholic, so I know a lot about Catholic Church history.
Yeah.
And, you know, my mom is always, is still a very devout Catholic. And so I wanted to be sure to like take plenty of pictures and video
Absolutely.
to show her. And I knew she would really like that. So, so that's our next trip, our next little trip that we did. And you'll get to see the beautiful, and it's just, even if you hate religion, not have a connection to
Yeah.
it. The art alone, I mean, religious art alone is part of our Western history, and it's really worth looking at. You know, I tried to focus mostly on that,
just for that reason.
on the art and the different forms of art that were in the cathedral. So,
Gosh.
let's take a little tour.
Hola! Hi! Here we are at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Cuenca.
Also called Cathedral de la Inmaculada.
And we climbed many spiral stairs
Oh my gosh,
to get
yeah.
up to the rooftop where you can see the upper architecture that's on the roof. So the citadel behind us, there's actually the basilica.
Yeah, they're called
roof.
cupulas in Spanish. There's 3 total that kind of get them together, but I'm not sure how you call them in English.
Cupola is
Cupola?
an English word
Oh,
too.
okay.
But that central area is the basilica. That's the
Yes.
main part of the
Yes.
church. And then all these little ones are little turrets. Probably they were probably bell towers or something. This is the old cathedral, and they built a new one that was finished.
This is a new one.
Oh, this is
yes,
a new
this
one,
is a new
okay.
one. The old cathedral, which will be there later today because we're doing a little cryptic tour.
So anyway, this is so cool because it looks out
Wow.
over the city.
Yeah, you can. There's a monastery right over there.
And just like all good NID podcasters and bloggers everywhere,
The reason why we're here.
I have my current project is traveling with me, and it's not a sock because I don't knit too many socks. This is a little sweater project I've got on the needles, so I'm gonna hold it up in front of the scenery.
Yeah.
So my little sweater visiting Cuenca,
Yes.
the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Cuenca.
So we'll be here. We'll be doing like little mini videos
We're gonna
showing.
move on to other fun things. Look how pretty those plants are. Beautiful.
Para mantenimiento y más que nada desde ahí también se pudo hacer lo que son las instalaciones eléctricas.
Here in Cuenca knows that we have 2 cathedrals. This is the old one and the original one, and then the new one, which was the other one that we were in earlier today. So it's not actually normal that in a diocese, there's 2 cathedrals.
Normally it's just one.
Just one, right? Yeah. So while they were doing all these changes, the new cathedral is already under construction.
Because that took 100 years, right?
Yeah.
En 1885
In 1885 until 1967. So then once they were done, it took them about 88 years to finish the cathedral, the new cathedral, then they were able to nominate that one as a cathedral, and then this one just came back to being a regular church. From the 80s and 90s, because everybody was going to the other churches when they kind of got closed, but because it wasn't in use, it kind of got a little bit deteriorated, But they re-established it and they restored it in the year 2005, which is why that's basically why the city has 2 cathedrals. Those are called cenefas, and it's a finish that they do to the ceiling. They're made with French tin and painted also.
La madera,
All of these paintings along the side, it's all trompe-l'oeil, completely flat frescoes. So there's no frame or anything.
Claro, hay un libro sobre
Just
eso.
flat painting.
¿Quién-
And the drapery inside the little sacristy is all painted, all trompe-l'oeil. The only three-dimensional part is the actual altar, the columns and the frieze. All the drapery and the wrought iron is all trompe-l'oeil.
This is kind of creepy
Yeah, and musty.
and musty. And
So this is the crypt. Roots of plants coming down.
so people had a belief that the closer to the church that you were buried, the closer and quickest way that we would go to heaven. People that had enough money to be able to pay for, that they were wealthier, they were able to get buried in here.
Oh, this one is more like a mausoleum.
Sí, son imágenes grandes, pesadas y para que, pero no son tan pesadas como de pronto podemos imaginarnos. Tiene una combinación técnica. Si bien es cierto, es madera, ustedes pueden ver que es una
Obviously, it's not finished, and I don't think they're gonna finish it. It's been years since they've done it.
colapsar. Prácticamente estamos concluyendo aquí en la clínica.
And that's him.
Por ejemplo,
So one of the next things we did, I think we took a day off and maybe we visited JD's family a little bit. And then we, in the middle of the week, we went to the textile market, which also David and I went to the farmer's market on our own, which Michelle was horrified that we did.
Why?
Because it's not always safe for tourists to go in, but that's the big fruit and vegetable market. And we just, wanted to look at some vegetables.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's just like, and this is not just in Ecuador, but I feel like in most places, it's like the biggest place to get pickpocketed.
Yeah, it would. Yeah,
Okay.
it would be.
But you
yeah.
guys are New Yorkers. You know how to watch your pockets.
Yeah, we're
and-
city people.
Yeah.
It would be really easy to get pickpocketed, and you do have to be careful.
Yeah,
Like, just
you should always be vigilant, no matter where you go.
totally
But, yeah.
on the street, wherever. So we went to the textile market. By the way, they also have great coffee just about everywhere.
Oh, okay.
And you can stop off for an espresso or a hot coffee drink just about anywhere, and ice cream too. Oh, really, really.
God, I love ice cream.
Yeah. So of course we're sampling all that stuff. We have to. 'Cause
Naturally.
We're
No, you
we
need
have
to
to
come
make
back
it
and
known.
give us a review.
That's right. So we went to the textile market, which is a big square that's full of vendors of all kinds of clothing and handcrafted textiles. And around the edge are all the buildings that house more permanent vendors of clothing and textiles. So some of them are, can be kind of junky. Some of them are just everyday clothes. But if you go into these places and go in the back, you'll find all the good stuff. So a lot of these stores function as a mini market for artisans who bring their things in from the hills, from areas outside the city to sell. on specific market days, or to leave off and sell on commission through these stores.
Okay.
So you can get embroidered wraps, hand woven things, Macana and Macana style things, leather goods. You know, just I can't even begin to name all the different crafts.
There's so many.
Yeah. Most of it is, you don't see a lot of knitted things or crochet things, but they do some crochet, a lot of weaving, a lot of leather goods. The quality is just wonderful. And they use alpaca and cashmere and these fibers are native to the High Peaks region. They find so many interesting things to do with these fibers. So you can get everything from embroidered wraps to hand-woven ones and cowls. So we did some gift shopping there,
of course,
to bring things home for people. And at the same time, we started to meet more different kinds of artisans. Like we met Ava, who she makes handcrafts from horsehair, and she uses both natural color horsehair and she dyes some of her horsehair with plant and natural dyes.
That's so cool.
She makes everything from brushes, like lint brushes and clothing brushes, to strainers to use in the kitchen. Like I bought a strainer for rice that I love.
That's awesome.
With the woven horsehair. And she weaves all of it by hand. Some of it she actually weaves with her hands and not on a loom. So she was making some jewelry when we were there and weaving these little almost see-through bee wings.
Oh my gosh.
Alitas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the word for wings, alitas.
Heck yeah.
With her fingers. And we have a little video of Eva at work. So let's take a quick look at that.
Today we're here at a center of Artisanal Plaza. There's Anne.
Ava works with horsehair. She makes all these beautiful like lariats for hat bands and strainers for using in the kitchen. I just bought one because I love it. And not just because I love it, but I cook a lot and I need a strainer like this. I love it. Clothes brushes for your hand knits to be very gentle but effective. Then she has jewelry. She has bracelets and pins. Beautiful butterfly insects. So these are hand woven by Ava. She builds the body in a little cylinder, and then she adds these wings and weaves back and forth in a gradient colors with the horsehair for the wings. And now she's so cute.
Muéstranos
Qué
lo que-
bonita. She's going to show us
Muéstranos un poquito cómo hace usted
how
el
she
hilado.
makes the insects and the wings.
Yeah, she's making these bees. She's making the body of the bee right now. She says that every
Siempre
time.
hay el pelo más grueso y hay pelo más fino, más delgado.
She says that between the horsehair,
Más grueso es
she always picks the thicker one to make that one the main structure of the center that she's gonna do the body. And every one of these has like different lengths. Some of them are thicker than others.
Entonces cogemos
So
como
then she
para
grabs
coger la
it.
estructura.
To build the structure.
Ask Eva if she dyes her own horsehair.
¿Usted misma les tinta?
Sí, nosotros le tiñimos al pelo blanco,
Mhm.
natural del caballo blanco,
Mhm.
con vegetales. Por ejemplo, le cocinamos vegetales, frutas, plantas, semillas. Entonces, por ejemplo, al pelo blanco, ¿no?
She just says she dyes the white.
This is the
one
basic color, and
Yeah.
then she dyes it with plants and
seeds. Yeah,
and
you,
cochineal. Yeah.
Entonces, por ejemplo, es con la pepa de aguacate.
this is with the avocado seed.
Oh.
Sale naranja.
Sí, es como color piel a veces.
It's like
dependiendo la marca.
Orange.
yeah, a beigey
Almost
color.
a carmine, yeah. Well, look how red it is here.
Yeah.
Sí, y de
Wow.
ahí, digamos, la cúrcuma
She uses turmeric also.
Es un pimiento como mostaza.
It's like a
Y ya le-
mustard kind of color
Yeah.
with the turmeric.
Oh, this one. Here.
Yeah.
These are thick.
Siempre el caballo cuando ya está viejo, el pelo es más grueso.
She says
y
that
se
when
va
the
pintando de blanco igual
when
que
the
a
horse
nosotros.
gets older, the hair
Yeah,
and the
gets
fiber gets coarser, and you also get these gray hairs, just like humans.
Yeah. So it's a variation. This one's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Look at all those colors.
Wow.
This is con índigo.
Índigo es
Oh, look at that. Logwood.
Yuyo, no, Fichimoyo.
¿Qué es eso?
Es una semilla que huele muy fuerte de la montaña.
She says it's with a seed that's from a mountain that smells really. I don't know the name of it because I haven't heard of it. Usually, some of these plants have like the Quechua names, so even if you Google them, like they're gonna be hard to really be accurate.
Although Google is super helpful these days because everybody contributes.
Flor de ñacho, flor de monte, que donde quiera.
These are like flowers that she uses to make them.
Chamomile.
Ajá, flor de ñacho. Pero la cúrcuma y el aguacate son pigmentos
Yeah.
bien fijos.
These are
Estos no se
avocado and turmeric.
salen. 100%
This
cúrcuma.
one 100% turmeric and
Para
avocado.
obtener otros colores sobre este le pintamos más. Si quiere le
And then to like get
bravo.
other colors, she would paint on top of this one more colors to get like different results.
Son dos, hay que pintarle doble.
So she has to paint it twice on some colors, yeah.
Like hand painted yarn.
Ahí
Yeah.
se fija el color, ya no
And
se
that's how
sabe.
you can seal the color
And what's
too.
this color?
Este, por ejemplo, es con cúrcuma y hoja de haba tierna.
This is made with curcuma as the base. Curcuma, sorry, it's turmeric.
Oh.
As the base, and then on top of it, they use a bean that's green. But it's like the bean isn't ripe.
Eucalipto,
You can
That's eucalyptus right there.
mezcla de ñacha
And it's a mix of this one with eucalyptus.
Uh-huh.
It's carrots. This one has carrots and avocado in it.
aguacate
So it gets like a
y
stronger red.
bugambilla, flor de
Oh.
bugambilla. La
This is a
bugambilla
type
se
of-
conoce.
It's a type of flower called ungabisha.
Oh.
You go out to the sun, you can
Oh, it's like her sweater too.
see. Como su suéter.
Son las artes.
So she's weaving the bees' wings, and I'm gonna try to zoom in
Well,
here.
first of all, after she gets started on this, she weaves around a little capsule to make the body of the bee.
Es para completar
Yeah.
otro hebras con la aguja le usamos.
And now she's
Oh,
getting
she
ready
uses
to add the
Haga nomás.
wings, alitas.
And then that's how she does that.
Ponemos
And,
otro blanco.
oh, she uses it different.
She has one started here. Let me pick it up.
Yeah.
I have to get it. There we go.
Así es como también hacen las canastas, ¿no?
Sí.
El tipo de borda, el tipo de tejido.
It's so light, I
Tejiendo.
can't.
Que es
And then she gets it
como
started.
más importante tener un poquito las uñas más larguitas.
She says
porque
it's kind of
nos
important to
ayuda.
have longer nails because it helps you.
That makes
It
sense.
helps you weave it really like quicker.
Look at that.
She's quick.
Does ask her if she has Instagram?
¿Tiene usted redes sociales? No.
Oh, we'll show her then. When we
Yeah.
come back, we'll show her herself on Instagram.
Yeah. Y listo. Muchísimas gracias. Gracias, Eva.
So the next artisan that we met was Soila. She weaves baskets and fans and buckets, and so it's kind of like the hat weaving,
Okay.
but it's basket weaving.
Yeah.
So she weaves with both natural and colored rushes, I guess they are. The
Okay.
material, it's like a straw type material. Both covered boxes and open ones. She makes flat coasters and round objects, just anything you can think of. Like,
Yeah.
the variety is amazing. And so we had to kind of coax her, but she, in the end, was really nice to us, let us film her a little bit doing her weaving.
That's awesome.
And at her station. And there were silversmiths in that place. There were people that did little painting. There was a shop where they made beaded things, like beaded bracelets and necklaces.
Beautiful.
There was a leather store there. There was a man upstairs who carves statues for a church.
Oh, out of what?
Life-size wood.
Oh.
Life-size wood statues carved by hand. So beautiful.
Wow,
I
yeah.
have such beautiful pictures.
That's awesome.
And he has a little shop. You can buy like a crucifix or a doll or something from him too, in the artisan market. This was a specific sort of mini mall just for artisans that we were in.
Okay.
Which was really cool.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
¿Cómo se llama usted? Zoila. Y está haciendo- She's making abanicos.
for the fan.
¿Puedo ver de nuevo el abanico? Así. O sea, del otro lado.
Esta es la pasta de arriba, esta es la pastilla.
¡Qué lindo! Precioso está ese también.
So these artists are each have a little shop there. They're tiny shops, but they sure do cram a lot into them.
Yeah.
Kind
of like us.
They are funded in part by CEDAP, which is an organization that a government organization that gives them grants to help them get on their feet and do what they do.
That's very
and
cool.
it gives them an opportunity to create a vending site. Because many of these people come into the city from out of town, and they might, like I saw a lady getting out of a cab with bundles and bundles of whatever it was she was bringing in to sell that day. But she did have to take a cab in from wherever she was from. She doesn't drive herself. They're not there to create content for themselves.
Right.
So, they were super happy to share what they did with us and for us to
and they should be
look
proud.
at it and, to relate. They are just really proud of what they do.
And they should be.
Yes. And I just really enjoyed meeting them so much. So tons of good food. I didn't even mention I mentioned coffee and ice cream and grilled meats, and then of course the other important food group, chocolate. So Ecuador is really famous for growing cocoa beans and vanilla.
Yeah.
And we didn't even go to the vanilla farm, but that'd be another fun thing to do.
Yeah, totally.
And they have a couple of award-winning chocolate companies that are based in Cuenca, right? And so the Pacari company is one. They have a couple of different shops. There was that other shop called Core. They made the pastries that.
Corpus?
Yeah.
Corpus Christi?
Yeah, Corpus. Yeah.
You got Corpus Christi.
And they make pastries that are kind of normally only offered during the Corpus Christi holidays in June, but
but
they do them year round.
Got
so
it.
very pretty pastries.
That's cool.
Pacari chocolate is world famous, has won so many awards, and we got to sample plenty of it and bring home plenty of it for friends.
Yeah, I got some. So
yeah, pass it around the office. And there's just endless, I think it's just like traveling anywhere you've never been before. There's kind of endless things to discover and do.
Oh, of course.
And just going out for a walk and just walking around is an adventure in and of itself. You don't need to spend any money. You can do Cuenca with a backpack and a very small amount of money. It's easy to stay. It's easy to travel too because the money's the same, the electricity's the same, the time zone is the same. So that makes it
for us
really easy.
Yeah.
One thing that we did several times, actually.
Oh, really?
Which was so fun and so relaxing. There's an area of town that has natural hot springs.
Oh, yeah.
So the mountains are made by volcanoes, and the water from inside the volcano is hot.
Yeah.
It's naturally hot.
That's so
and
cool.
they if you live in that part of town, you can basically dig a hot spring in your own backyard if you want to. But they actually have bathhouses and hot springs and spas where you can go and partake of it if you live in another part of town. Lots and lots of people do it as a habit.
Oh, okay.
JD's dad goes like twice a week.
Oh, yeah. That's so
Tuesdays
fun.
and Thursdays. Mondays and Thursdays. Sorry.
They change the water.
Yeah. On the days that they clean the pool.
Got it.
Yeah. So, and you can, you can go and just sit in the hot pool, or you can get a series of there's a whole menu of services like massage
like a spa thing.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Or they have mud baths, and they have the change tubs. I forget what they call them.
The thermal contrasting.
Yeah, thermal contrast. Yeah, where you go from cold water to hot water, cold water.
Yeah,
yeah. So it was so relaxing to do that at the end of some of our longer days.
Absolutely.
And you go, and it's out in the open air. So it does cool down in Cuenca quite a bit at night, down from like the 70s to the 50s.
Oh, okay.
But but at the hot springs, it feels really good to have that cool air. Your head is outside.
Yeah,
and
the rest of your body.
The rest of your body is under the water. It feels so good. And the mud rooms and saunas and all of that are so much fun to do and so relaxing.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, we definitely made it a point to do that on our last night before we left, because when are we ever going to get to do that?
No, yeah.
At home. At home, I mean, they have it somewhere at home, but
I don't know where.
We never have time. It's really hard. It's really hard to leave the stress behind. So anyway, we have something we brought home for you, and we want to show you that next. And we're very excited about it, and I think you'll like it. So we're back, and look what we brought you. So this is Michelle's brainchild. We had so much fun. We had so much fun. We spent like 90% of our time laughing. We had so much fun on this trip.
Yes, we did.
So David and I traveled with Michelle and her husband down there, and then we came home a little earlier than they did. So, but the whole time we were there, Michelle kept talking about, let's do an experience box, and over the course of being there for a couple weeks, she talked me into it. Because I was like, I don't know, it's a lot, to do and a lot to collect. But as we met more and more people, and I realized like how accessible the market for the handcrafts really is to all of us, she kind of talked me into it. So we brought back a beautiful experience box that you can purchase. These are packed in one of Soya's handmade boxes. So she made all of these boxes by hand. Every single one is different. Some of them are multicolored all over. Some of them are plain, which I really love the plain ones.
Yeah,
I think those are
really
beautiful.
Nice.
You can really see the integrity of her work in this solid color. And then inside, they are filled with all kinds of yummy things that we found for you in our explorations.
Oh, wait, this is not.
First and foremost, we have this beautiful alpaca blend yarn. So this is from the woman, I don't know her name.
Patricia Espadero.
Okay, Patricia owns All Things Alpaca, which is a shop in the historic area of Cuenca. But she lives and works and raises alpacas on a farm up in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
And
with her husband,
about what, like an hour out of town?
When I asked her, she said it was actually like way in, like 3 hours to get there. But it was also because of like the road that it's not as accessible like in other
it's
main
like
roads.
If you look it up on Google Maps, it's going to say it takes 45 minutes to get there. But when you actually go there, you have to drive back and forth, and it's very. The roads probably aren't good. It probably does take
she
quite
didn't
a while.
make an emphasis about saying that.
So she had this shop full of beautiful hand knit things. She works with a cooperative of women, not a cooperative. She actually works with her own group of sample knitters, and they knit for her garments to sell in her shop. And wraps, sweaters, hats, gloves, all kinds of different things. and they are knit with the fiber from her alpacas. And she also does sell yarn as well.
Yes, she does.
And the alpaca is so soft. So she blends both the Huacaya alpaca and Suri alpaca together for the alpaca content, and then mixes it with 20% wool. So
yeah,
it's
merino wool. Yeah,
right. So it's 20% merino, 80% alpaca, and while it's not de-haired, the amount of hair in this alpaca is like zero. There's like one here, you know. It's very minimal. So it's very soft. We picked a shade that's kind of a medium dark gray. It's like a salt and pepper color. It has a little brownness to the tone. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And each box comes with a skein of this yarn. Plus we have extras in case you want to knit a sweater, like a black oak sweater from it. Or maybe that new top we talked about in our other podcasts. So a skein of yarn, and then examples of a variety of other crafts. So the box itself is useful. It makes a really great sewing box or knitting box. It will hold an 8-inch pair of shears, or
probably even more.
fairly large objects. Yeah. So
This is
it's a 9 or 10-inch diameter box. It has the yarn, some Pacari chocolate. It has
some handcrafts,
a bunch of different handcrafts.
Yes.
I think all in all there are 9 or 10 items.
Yeah, I would say, including the box.
And we are selling it on our website. So
yes.
We have only 50 of these. That's it. But if you want a little taste of Ecuador in your home, something, you know, a way to travel to Ecuador without having to actually go, a way to go along with us on our travels there, this experience box is a really great value. It also comes with its own podcast, basically.
Yeah. Well, basically, if you guys saw everything before we introduced the experience box,
you can go back through this podcast
you might find
as you look through and open your experience box for the first time and see examples of the different things in it and who made them. So so these are things that are all made by people who were in our podcast. We went directly to the artists and purchased directly from them.
Yep.
These are not pieces that were made in a Peruvian factory or, you know, by people who actually work in a factory.
No, I actually have photos of every time I went to pick up like the finished items.
Yeah.
A photo of them like holding, you know, their craft with like all of their little shops.
Yeah.
So it is from the artist.
Yeah, so we'll put a little album like that at the end of this podcast so you can see each piece being purchased and paid for.
Yes, yes. I will say maybe a funny story, you can include it or not, but okay, so the lady that made these, she had like a little bit of a crabby face when we met her.
So we first met her the first time we went to the artisan market. And we were in the artisan market 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah,
before we
it's
even
my favorite
left.
spot to go every time I go.
Yeah, and for a variety of reasons. But so the first time we went in there, she was really kind of cranky. She just didn't want to talk to us and look at us. And you know, I was really interested in her weaving and the way she was moving her hands and everything. And I always ask people. I don't just video people. I always ask, and I always wait for them to respond. And so I asked her if I could photograph her, and she didn't answer right away.
No.
And finally, she was like, "Yes." So by the time we left, we had her laughing. But we went back again and again, and she just got more and more friendly and cute every time we went. So I think she didn't think we were really gonna come through with a sale, you know, and when we did, she was.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, I came up to her. I'm like, "Hey, I need 50 of these. She's like, yeah, I have them. Like, you know, I can make them. I'm like, but I need them like in 2 weeks. And she's like, okay, yeah, like whenever you come by, like we'll see. And then the day that we're there, like picking 50 of these out, she did not believe me until like I was like, okay, here, like, you know,
I
here's
want all of these.
all
50.
of these. And she, like, her face was just like, and then I just realized, I mean, not realized, but I don't think she's ever had someone come and give that much of a sale in one day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure the amount of baskets that we got from her was probably the amount of that she would sell in a month.
Yeah, because I think even there are high-end shops that buy from the people in the artisan market for their displays.
Yeah.
But even they are only probably buying 10 at a time because they can go back anytime and get 10 more. Yes. But 50 is probably a lot.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it was kind of
her
cute
shop is so tiny. Like, it makes our shop look like a palace. Her shop is literally the size of a closet. She's got baskets from floor to ceiling. And if you wend your way all the way back, there's like her dog.
Oh my gosh,
her
yeah.
dog bed is back
Well,
there.
no, I thought it was a dog bed. It's actually her. So she takes care of her grandson.
Oh, he was there.
Yeah, so I guess her daughter also works. So her grandson came one day that I was there after school, and she feeds him, and he's just laying there until his grandma's
does his
done.
homework or whatever.
Yeah.
These shops are so fun because from the hallway outside the shop, the window is completely obscured with whatever's inside.
Yes.
And when you go in, it's just like a little jewel box inside of, you know, one person at a time can go all the way to the back and come back, you know.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that was Soya. She really helped us like put a shape around the collection of things that we ordered. And then there are examples of things from, there's a piece from Macana. We have a piece from Ava, who you saw in the podcast, and plenty of other goodies, things that we experienced. And it really does bring back memories because there's something in here from the rooftop evenings. There's something in here from the mountains and from the wedding. And it's just great. So
yes.
Anyway, get yourself one of these for fun, and everything in it is totally giftable. They're all like high quality items that you can totally re-gift to someone else if you want to.
We source them each individually, person to person, and different artisans. So like everything is fair trade. I will say,
and we didn't take her prices at all either. We whatever people ask.
She was very strict about that.
Yeah, whatever people ask, that's what we pay. And you know, that's a philosophy we have.
Yeah, no, that's something that you've always done.
Yeah,
that's always something like. And I'm actually the same way with them. I don't mind doing that with like high corporations.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Like get them to come down a 25 cents on the price? I mean, come on.
But with artisans, I do rather like, okay, I even like, you know, like gave them like a tip extra just because I felt like they deserved it, especially because of the time that they had to like elaborate this and everything else with like Eva. She only had 10 items in her shop.
Yeah.
And she had to come up with new ones. And she said, like, I have to source all of it out from scratch to be able to deliver all of these for 50 kits. So it was kind of nice that she did that in short time.
But they all really pulled together to our timeline, and we appreciate that.
We will be including a little instruction so you know what you're getting inside. Some things might have some labels in Spanish, so we'll be translating them to English so you guys can kind of take a look. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
this is like one of my favorite projects that I think we've done in a while.
It even smells like Cuenca. So with that, we'll let you get one for yourself.
Yes. So the experience box comes out April 1st on our newsletter. There's only 50 boxes available. We will have additional yarn for sale. If you want to add some more to your box. There will be a pattern collection of like ideas that would be suggested patterns for the yarn.
It's a sport weight yarn with 350 yards per skein, so it's really similar to many of our own sport weights. It would be beautiful in a brocadia shawl, like one skein, or as a few skeins would make a sweater or a wrap. A warm winter wrap. It knits up so softly.
Oh yeah, there was a sample at the shop.
The garments in the shop were so soft.
Yeah, I would say even softer than what the skein feels like. Because she did wash and like, blocked it.
Once it's washed and blocked. I mean, there was a sweater I wanted so much, but it only came in a size that was way too big for me. So
yeah,
you know, maybe next time. We'll see.
The name of the yarn is going to be Cajas Sport. Cajas is the national park that is in Cuenca and where we actually spotted the alpacas. And then the shade is tabaquillo. It's inspired by a specific tree that we have in Ecuador. Tabaquillo also means cigarette? No. Is that what it means? Cigarette?
Oh, tobacco.
Tobacco.
It's like a tobacco color. Yeah.
Yes.
But the trees in the high desert area, they're like scrubby trees that are brown. Kind of made me think of this. So.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure you watch it. You watch and get your kit April 1st. We will be having these on the website.
And be sure to say thank you to Michelle who did all the running around and pushed me to, to do it.
Yes. I think it's a great outcome. I just love Cuenca has so many
She grew up there,
such a diversity in culture, and I think it's just like a textile, so much art, so many people are so proud, what you said at the beginning, they're so proud of their culture and
including
the art.
You.
Yeah, I mean, I own a ton of like all of these things you would think that only tourists use, and they don't. Like I own them. I have the sweaters that are like with the alpacas.
And being there really made us dream of maybe doing a retreat someday. So let us know your thoughts about that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Maybe a retreat in Ecuador. Who knows? But yeah, so, you know, I hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see what you guys think in the comments.